Okay. Excellent. First Pure Flix movie of 2018. I'm so happy.
There's a lot of words I would have used, but excellent isn't fucking one of them.
Hang on, let me get you more so in the shot there. There we go. Alright, now we can see your happiness.
Yeah, my joy.
I felt so bad when we were watching this, because for a little bit, we were the only ones in the theater. Like,
the first, 20 minutes, Brad and I were just fucking mocking this movie while it was happening.
We were, because again, we got there, and no one was there, and the trailer started, did a double check, no one was there, and we didn't even hear anybody else come in. And then, I don't know, 20 or 30 minutes into this movie, maybe a little longer, honestly, you had turned around and noticed that there was a guy sitting, several rows behind us. And I was like, oh shit, there's somebody else in here. Fuck. I didn't know. At first, I was like, well, maybe it's one of the employees killing time when they're on break. They decided to see a little bit of Samson.
Nope.
No. And then after the movie, what, you ran into the guy in the restroom?
No, walking towards the door. The dude was standing there, preparing himself to walk out in the rain. I was like, by the way, man, I just wanted to apologize.
You're right.
People talking during movies is a pet peeve of mine. Had we known anyone else was in the theater, we would not have done that. And he was like, nah, it's fine. You guys were funny. And then he just bombed away.
You guys are the funniest part of the movie. I wish you kept talking.
Yeah.
So Samson is, I'm going to use the word epic in the loosest of freaking terms.
They tried.
Samson's the new Pure Flix movie, and okay, title, you know what it's about. If you don't know the story of Samson from the Book of Judges, it's the very interesting story about a man who gets who's born to have the strength of God, and it's also a good lesson on how to not think with your dick. Really, there's timeless morals that are in the story of Samson. And so going into this, I was thinking there's probably going to be a few things that they might dance around or creatively edit or just plain not show. There's the creative editing in the movie, because really, even though Pure Flix is a company that, they make religious movies, they're a religious movie production company, they shouldn't be the company who makes a movie out of Samson.
No.
They're just not. They should really keep their hands off of most of the Old Testament, especially the Book of Judges. It would be, I don't know, it comes across like it would be like
if the Henson Company was gonna remake Caligula.
Yeah, or if the makers of War Room decided to make Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah, you're exactly right.
God's Not Dead 3 is coming out very soon, guys. Calm the fuck down.
We'll get to that in a minute, but because speaking of Caligula, Samson should be like a Guccione produced movie. It should be a Guccione movie or like a 70s Polanski film. right after he did Macbeth. So now it's a Pure Flix movie, and it was done by Cecil B. DeMille way back in the day with Samson and Delilah. And at least with that's a Cecil B. DeMille movie. You're gonna get some grand, fucking lush, old Hollywood, epic, beautiful filmmaking with that. It'll at least be eye candy. Might not be very R-rated, but at least it'll look beautiful. With this, yeah, it's a PG-13, and I will say this, it's got the highest body count of any Pure Flix movie I've ever seen.
It's got the highest body count of any Pure Flix, that last,
What, Pure Flix?
Yeah, not Pure Flix. It doesn't matter, because it wasn't Pure Flix.
what was there another like biblical period piece you and I went to go see?
No, it wasn't biblical. It was that last Kevin Sorbo movie where they showed this trade center.
Oh, well, I was gonna call that movie Pure Flix Light, but no, that Let There Be Light's pretty much on par with Pure Flix. So there actually is a lot of stuff in this movie that I didn't
expect him to go there quite a few times.
There were a few times in the film where I was like, okay, well, they stuck with that part of the story. Just right off the top of my head, going back and finding the carcass of the lion and eating honey out of it. Now, they don't show the part where he also fed it to his dad, but I wasn't expecting, once he gets his hair cut, I wasn't expecting the eye gouging. They kept that in there. The whorehouse, they kept that in there. Granted, it was like, okay, well,
the only reason you could tell it's a brothel is if you've seen a movie that's had a brothel in it before.
Well, he says in the movie, he says if I knew what kind of place this was, I wouldn't be, I wouldn't have been here. Although, from what I remember, in the Bible, like, it didn't really come across like he had a huge problem being with a prostitute. Like, Samson got laid so many, Samson just thought with his dick several times to the point to where he's just the most gullible fucking idiot in the world. Like, someone who he's sexually attracted to can be like, yo, man, tell me your secrets. And he will. And that just, so much bad shit happens because of him thinking with his dick.
We can all relate to that.
Yeah, honestly, it's a very relatable story, like, truth be told. But so, yeah, there was aspects of the movie that they certainly kept in there. Now, they condense a lot, really, because when it gets to Samson and Delilah, when it gets to him with Delilah, I saw why they kind of condensed that a little bit, because if they had gone through everything that does happen in the Bible with Samson and Delilah and her trying to trick him, he would be just the dumbest fucking lead character you've ever seen in a movie. Like, what they do in this film is, he's joking with her and he says, oh, if I want to take my strength away, you know, you just gotta tie me up with some ropes. And, which, again, like, he does say that in the Bible, but in this, he kind of laughs it off, and she says, why'd you lie to me about that? And he's like, what? I was kidding. In the Bible, that kind of situation happens like 3 or 4 more times. Like, she's like, why, tell me the truth. And he'll be like, oh, well, okay, you just gotta feed me bread after midnight or something. Like, I don't think he says that, but he says something like that. And then, like, Philistines come in and, like, try to tie him with ropes and, like, try to, like, you know, give him bread or whatever, I don't know. And still, he just wants that Delilah ass.
It's like 2 and 2 together, my friend.
It literally says in the Bible, like, tired of Delilah's nagging, he decided to tell her the truth about where he gets the strength from.
Oh, man.
Honestly, there's aspects of the story that's funnier than about anything in this movie. Yeah. The movie just... Calling this movie epic is like calling that play they were doing in Gavin Stone epic. Yeah. Because this movie is shot and feels like I'm waiting for, like, the music to start happening in a Carmen music video, and it just never does.
I kept thinking, like, remember before, like, Hercules, the legendary journey?
Yeah.
It was like, before the actual TV series, there was, like, the 5 or 6 TV movies they made. I kept thinking of those.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, your little sidekick buddy's, like, oddly really blonde.
This movie just, it looks like something you would just find on television at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, this feels like it is from the era of Hercules, the legend continues.
Like, yeah, you know, and I'll give them credit for some things, like some of their establishing shots were well done.
And then they repeat the same five,
Right.
3 or 4 ones over and over
And
again.
like, you know, they tried with the costumes, but then when it comes to like the makeup, and it's like, all right, now everyone has a beard, and I'll say you had a better beard in the fucking Cinema Snob movie.
I was thinking the same thing, because they try to show like the passage of time in this movie once Samson's wife dies, and sorry, I would say spoiler, but the ending of this movie is on the poster. If you know the story of Samson, you know that just looking at the poster. He's holding the 2 pillars beside him. But so okay, it says many years later, and to show that there has been a few years in between this, they just simply give all of the actors beards.
Giant beards.
Giant fake beards. So something happened in their lives that caused them to stop shaving.
Out in every direction.
Every direction. And they didn't do that with Jackson Rathbone, who's the villain, but instead they just tied his hair up in a ponytail. Meanwhile, King Billy Zane, who all of his scenes are... This is how much this movie should not be in theaters, because all of his scenes are like straight out of like an Uwe Ball, like In the Name of the King movie. Not even the first one, because the first one had a bit of a budget, but like the sequels where they couldn't afford to shoot in a castle, so they put the throne outside. So Billy Zane is King Billy Zane, who's the love child of Marlon Brando and Vincent D'Onofrio.
It was one of those movies where it's like, oh, Billy Zane, you could give 2 shits about this, but at the same time, you're captivated.
He didn't give a flying shit during this. They had to have shot his scenes in like just a day. Like, I'll give him this. He throws out... There are a couple of times when he throws out a little bit more emotion than like Burt Reynolds in The Name of the King. The casting is just as hilarious because he just looks like Billy Zane. No, like they didn't put any makeup on his face or anything. He just looks like he walked off the set of the second Zoolander, not the first one, but the second one, and then they put this toga and a crown on him that makes it look like he was declared king of, like, the Delta fraternity party that just happened.
Oh, God, the crown is so bad. It's like everything else in the movie that's supposed to be metal. It's like, from a distance, you're like, oh, that could be metal. That crown is just straight up fucking plastic.
Yeah, the props in this movie are hilarious. And sometimes Billy Zane is, like, kind of trying to have an accent a little bit. Like, sometimes he's not, but then there's other times where, like, bring him to me. Throw his death scene, by the way. Oh my God, his death scene looked like he was laughing his ass off.
I thought he looked annoyed, like he was doing this scene and he's like, you really want me to stand here and do like the 1930s drawn out fucking bad Shakespearean play death scene?
He looked
You
drunk.
really want me to fucking do this?
He looked so drunk doing that. It looked like... Here we go. Okay. So, this... You missed this when this was happening a couple of times last week. This happened in both of our reviews last week, and we weren't the only ones it was happening to, because I found some other people talking about it on YouTube as well. Okay, but at least they seem to have fixed it. They said, or in the sense, not that they fixed it, not that YouTube fixed it whenever it crashes, but they at least put a thing on there that said, would you like to resume the stream that was just interrupted? Oh no, last time it just crashed and went away, and we just decided to record it fucking live on the thing. So...
Lost all of our viewers.
We did, but I think it... we did, but I might have put it on private, because I didn't know that it was gonna... I might have put it on private because I didn't know that it was gonna ask me to continue the stream. So, all right, well, we'll see how this goes. But anyway, Billy Zane just flat out just drunkenly collapses. Like, it didn't look like he died. It just looks like he passed out
down, yeah,
from fucking too much wine. And even though there are, like, parts where like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people are dying by saying, like the jawbone scene, like that's in there. It's shot so bad. It's
You
okay.
never-
Samson.
Yeah, you never see anything connect ever.
You never see anything connect. There's a scene where like 500 people die, and it is bloodless except for some scrapes. It just looks like he's just knocking a bunch of guys out by just clunking them on the head with this plastic jawbone. But Samson's strength is that he's very strong, and also villains are too dumb to kill him, because there's so many scenes where people are just standing there and could easily just put a sword in his back.
Oh yeah, like when they all climb on top of him.
Yeah.
And it's like, what if you stab him?
Yeah.
With your... that fucking fight scene killed me, though. Because I know it's a fucking movie, and I know they use fake weapons, right? But they kept going to these interspersed slow-mo shots, and every time they did it, there's one dude in the background with his fucking rubber sword just waving in the air. And it's like... And it's not even like a subtle, like... It's like... Womp, 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 womp. But yeah, they could have stabbed him then. Then they have him pinned against the gate. Oh, the archers can't get him, but the 8 motherfuckers with pitchforks a foot away from him. Just stab the motherfucker.
Wait, hang on. We shouldn't stab him. I want to see where he goes with this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that shit was fucking hilarious. And really, it's just a movie that it feels stupid watching it in the theater. It feels dumb watching...
It feels dumb watching it, period.
Yeah, but I mean, especially in a theater, in a town where we have a few different theaters, not a single one of them got, like, Phantom Thread or The Disaster Artist, but
Shape of Water hasn't even come
No,
to
it
town.
has. No,
Did
it actually left, like, last week.
God damn it.
It was here for a couple of weeks. But... Oh, no, yeah, so... There are several movies that most other places get. Us, nah, but don't worry, Springfield, you can still watch Samson in theaters, in which they sequel bait at the end to show you, like, David and Goliath. I did enjoy King Billy Zane.
I enjoyed
how much
King
he
Billy
just
Zane.
didn't give a fuck.
I enjoyed old drunk Rutger Hauer.
Okay, with Rutger Hauer in this movie, like, buying that Rutger Hauer is this guy's... The parents are Rutger Hauer and the Bionic Woman, and buying that they're his parents is ridiculous. It makes it look like Samson's secret dad is John Redcorn.
It would be kind of like if you replace the actor who is in this movie with, like, Jason Momoa, but his dad was Andy Serkis.
Dude, from the poster, when I first saw the poster, because they've had a poster for this up at 12 for a while. When I first saw the poster for this, I thought it was, like, Taylor Lautner at first.
Okay, I was trying to figure out how to describe the way this guy looked.
Yeah.
And I think I figured it out. Okay. It's if Taylor Lautner played the Incredible Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that was the CGI Hulk face they came up with. And they just slapped it on, like, mid-80s Arnold Schwarzenegger's body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like, whenever they put, like, CGI Arnold's face on, like, someone else's body, like in the other Terminator movies.
Yeah, only it would have been a switch around.
Yeah.
But and that poor dude, you could tell that, like, the dude was so kind of weird looking. But, like, I could see if that guy wasn't such a hulking monstrosity, like, he'd be charming as fuck on, like, a shitty TV show. You know? I don't want to see him in movies.
Yeah.
But, like, he'd be charming as fuck on a shitty TV show as, like, the big, giant, charming sidekick.
He has a credit for being in Justice League.
Yeah, I think he was an Atlantean.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay. It was just some, like, minor thing that was listed on there. But there were moments where I was like, you know, if they put, like, a bunch of money behind this and tried to really make this look like a real epic and not just not what we got, there were parts where I was like, you know, I could actually kind of see him working, especially when he's kind of
a director that's willing to work with him.
Yeah,
because the guy is fucking trying.
Yeah, he's
trying so hard.
He is.
And there's a couple scenes where, like, he has to emote.
Yeah,
and it's like, That's fucking hard. There's good actors that don't do that well.
Yeah. And when he was kind of macking on Delilah a little bit, like, I was kind of buying it. Like, I was like, you know, if you put, like, millions of dollars behind this and actually
cast
really
a family that kind of looks like him,
I could still see him working. I could still see him working in this role. Like, pretty much everyone else you might have to get rid of.
Yeah,
him,
except for King Billy Zane.
King Billy Zane still needs to be in there.
Billy Zane needs to do more stuff that's good.
Yeah, he really does.
Billy Zane.
Billy Zane is great. If you haven't seen Dead Calm, go check that out. That's a great Billy Zane movie from the 80s.
Fuck, he was the only part of Titanic that I thought was fucking tolerable.
He is my favorite part of Titanic. So, this movie, I mean, as far as Pure Flix movies go, sure. I mean, it could certainly be worse, but I mean, this movie has some special effects in it, like the temple collapsing at the end, and it looks like
it does this.
It looks like suddenly someone switched over and now they're playing Prince of Persia on the big screen. So it looks like a video game. The movie isn't. It's not good enough or well made enough for me to be like, well, watch it as, you know, a big biblical epic, because you can already do that. Just watch the Cecil B. DeMille version. That was 60 years ago, and this looking like just cheap crap. Even beyond that Cecil B. DeMille's movie was a multi-million-dollar Hollywood movie, I've seen like Caligula knockoff movies from the 70s and 80s that look way more epic than this film and are a little bit better made than this film.
No, this isn't good. And, you know, I can't... Like, if you notice, there's no, like, rage behind this review, because it's not the average Pure Flix movie that's trying to preach to the fucking masses.
Yeah.
It's the biblical epic, and I have no issues with that. You make a fucking biblical... a story's a story, and those are old stories, and, you know, you make the fucking Iliad. That makes no fucking difference to me. And they don't throw in a bunch of preachy shit.
No, they don't.
Wasn't there in the first place.
Yeah. No, there. Like I said, there are things about it where I was like, oh, okay, I was surprised they kept that in, but it's just not that well made of a movie.
No, it's pretty bad.
I mean, we got trailers in this movie for God's Not Dead 3, which looks like
The Light in the Darkness.
Yeah, A Light into Darkness, where it looks like it's got John Corbett in it, which makes it look like it's now a tie-in with All Saints, that someone set fire to his church from that movie. We got I Can Only Imagine, the origin story of that song, because sure.
Yeah.
We really need an origin story for this song that I hear in commercials sometimes. God, what a modern update on Little Women. We got a trailer for that.
Which, you know what? I could give two shits about a modern update for Little Women. From the trailer, it didn't look terrible. It didn't look like I'm gonna give two flying fucks about it, but it wasn't a bad trailer.
It looked like a movie that I have no idea if it'll come to Springfield or not. But it looked like the trailer made it look like an origin story for the love interest from Old Fashioned.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought it was the same actress.
Yeah. And then we got,
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
They also put Han Solo in there. I heard from several people that they put the God's Not Dead 3 trailer in front of Black Panther.
Why?
Because, you know... because I don't know. Both movies are about an oppressed minority. I mean, at least that's what the makers of God's Not Dead think.
If anyone claims that person and I are going to have a fucking conversation.
Any final thoughts about Samson?
Fuck this movie.
It's not very good.
No, it's not the worst thing ever made. You know, fuck it. Someone wanted to make a movie, they made a movie. Someone gave them money to do it. A couple people tried.
Yeah.
But it's... It's not good.
No,
It's not good. I can't even say it's like.
It's not even
not
funny
terrible because it's bad. It's really bad.
But it's not even funny bad.
No, it's not.
Like, there's a couple parts where I laughed, but overall, it really doesn't even go into territory of being like so bad it's funny.
Yeah.
So just skip it. There's really no point in seeing this. You could see either read the story in Judges or just watch the Cecil B. DeMille movie. So all right, well, talk to you guys later.